First carry for Nick Chubb. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
I'm coming after you.
Now Mayfield. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
Mayfield down. And that will be incomplete.
He's second in the NFL in interceptions, and you understand why. He plays a game of great intelligence, understands positioning, and has a great ability to break on the football when it's in the air.
So fun to watch his closing speed, and another example of it on that play. Returnable for Grant. There he goes, right side. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Mark that down as an 85-yard punt return, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone. Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. From the 31, Mayfield trying to lay one up deep. That's caught at the 25. And they do finally get him, but he takes it to the 25.
We always talk about the guy who paid off the play, don't we? The guy who caught it or ran it. But how about the elements that go into making a big play? This one in particular, able to scan the field, pocket held up nicely. What a terrific job by the offensive line. The route well run, and the football right on the money.
What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward and now a small step back as he loses a yard or two.
At the Bengals 27-yard line. 20. Man, I got you.
On 2nd and 11 now. Mayfield throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Antonio Callaway, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. Mayfield. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 13. Well, when you start thinking of guys that are in the mix for Defensive Player of the Year, I think you use him as Exhibit A. Maybe he's not the leading guy right now, but he's at least on the periphery and deserves to be in the discussion.
And because of that, he's looking at a game today where in order to make that big move and maybe become the guy, he needs multiple takeaways, multiple big plays, things that get our attention and reverberate for weeks to come.
And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Here's the 2nd and 7. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. A gain there of 21 yards.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
They'll drop to throw. He gets this in the hands of Mixon. And he gets this down to the 18. Good enough for a first down. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. On first down, Nicholas. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway, because that's your strength.
I can't believe they let you play. I can't believe they even let you play.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. They were able to win last week despite him being sacked 4 times. They might need to tighten the reins a little bit, or this one may not end in another victory.
You're right about that. They can't count on just winning the game no matter what happens. They can't let the accumulation of hits and harassment in the pocket get to their quarterback. Got to stop that. Give him clean lanes to throw the football in order to have a better chance to win again this week.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Looking for the end zone. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against them.
So now they assess a 3rd and long, and that holding call might have knocked him out of field goal range, at least for the moment.
And we got to get to the ball, team. We got to get to the ball. Let's keep moving.
Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. It's a gain of 5, but it'll lead to a 4th down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Now the Bengals will settle for 3 as the field goal unit comes on here. On the left hash, officially it's called a 51-yard attempt. And this one is right down the middle. And the lead moves to 10-zip. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted. But I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb, and he'll be upended after a gain of 5, up to the 25-yard line.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They go with Chubb on second down. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Throwing, Mayfield. Incomplete. He had his hands on it, but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. The Bengals drive about to get going. They're looking sharp, out early to a 10-zip lead and looking for more as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Jannard Avery has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Back to throw here. He completes it to Boyd. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
47's the mic. 47's the mic.
Now back to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. A Bengal first down on a 16-yard pickup there. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. 10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll run it now out of the gun. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
All right. Let's go, D. Let's go. Hey, let's get there. Anyway, time go. Mike's 47. Mike's 47. Echo. Hey, man up, D. Man up, D.
On play action, they'll throw. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had to fly, just sending the guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a 1st down.
And the Bengals 1st down.
So they go from one 42-yard line to the other as they come up now 1st and 10.
Hey, switch gears.
They're going to look to throw. Brought in over the middle by Grant. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. 12 yards that time, and a Cincinnati 1st down.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. They'll look to throw. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just look in the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. They'll try the left side. Nicholas.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Check, ready. Hey, come on. Check, 47. I don't even know why this team.
On 2nd down, Nicholas. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Back to throw. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Larry Ogunjobi in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it. But it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off.
2nd and 10 at the 25-yard line.
Good. 180. Here we go. Run. Check 99. Check 99.
Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. That time the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold them.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know, there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates.
Well, it's 3rd and long, and you've got a few different ways to play it offensively. But this is not the type of offense that's going to wave the white flag. They're going to keep chucking it. And this time, it results in an interception.
You better break. I'm letting you know right.
Mixon with a 1st down carry. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a Bengal 1st down, a pickup of 11.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Come on. 47.
Look to throw. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. Now Joe Mixon trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. The Bengals on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. He'll drop to throw. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
The Browns drive about to get started. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. They'll start on the ground with Lindsey, and he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Hey, alert, 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 alert.
On 2nd and 7, Mayfield. And he's got his man on the out route. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. The Browns on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. To throw, Mayfield. Going right side here, and that's complete. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage, so they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the 1st down.
A 1st down throw from Mayfield. Forced out to his left. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. They only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or 2 because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
The Bengals with 2 extra DBs, a nickel look on 3rd.
Blanketing the passing lanes.
Mayfield with it once more. 2nd quarter action with 1:59 remaining. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Here comes Grant on the return. So possession goes over here on the punt, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Bengals drive about to get going. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
2nd and 10. Dumps it off to Mixon. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 10 yards there on a Bengal first. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Looking to throw. He gets this to Devontae Adams. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense. 6 guys. Check 6 guys. Check. Press now.
They'll run on first down. Mixon. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. They'll get 14 on that one. Good for a Bengal first down. On that last run, he's now hit the 6,000-yard mark for rushing yards in his career.
And moves him squarely into the top 100 rushers of all time. In fact, he can boast that he's rushed for over 1,000 yards more than Gale Sayers did in his career. And Gale Sayers was a Hall of Famer in a short career.
They'll set up a throw. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And that'll wind up incomplete.